right, guys, welcome back to the Sex and Bacon podcast. On today's episode, we are live in location in Arizona at the Hive Social Club. Tonight, we are going to be interviewing couples who are part of, the community, the Hive, and as well as in the lifestyle. And we're going to hear from them, their experiences, their stories, and share with you guys the experiences of couples and what it is that they get out of it. So I'm happy to share this with you guys, and stay tuned. All right, guys, today, first guest interview that I have with me, I am with Heather and Max here at the Hive, and I'm really excited to share with you guys their experiences with being in the lifestyle. So first question I do have for you guys, how long have you guys been part of the lifestyle?
We'd say probably about 3 years.
Okay.
So going about 3.5.
And what was it that brought you guys to experience this type of lifestyle?
Bottle of sake.
Okay. I feel like there's a story to that.
There is a huge story to that. I didn't know he was going to say that. Well, for me, I would have just said, obviously fulfill fantasies.
Yep.
For sure. But yeah, did start with a bottle of sake. For
Okay.
Sure, so.
Was that something that was difficult for you guys to communicate to each other, that you were looking for different experiences, that you wanted to try something different?
Oh, heavens no. It was completely hot.
Yeah, it was just fantasy and dirty talk in the bedroom.
Yeah, we love dirty talk. One thing led to another.
Then a bottle of sake, and then talked to her. She didn't think she agreed to everything. And
I did. I agreed to everything.
She didn't think I was going to remember in the morning.
Didn't think he was going to remember it. Woke up next morning. He was like, oh, we're searching this out completely. He's a searcher, so he searched everything out, and we were able to find everything and anything we could, and then that's how it spawned, joined the lifestyle.
Do you guys find any challenges in it whatsoever, or has there been some growing pains?
Oh, yeah, heavens, yes, absolutely. I think that's with every couple that we've have met. Jump in, too. I don't mean to cut you off.
One thing that we struggle with is meeting couples that are actually, she's 6 foot tall.
Yes.
And so she struggles finding men that are at least 5'10" or taller.
Yes,
oh, okay.
I do have a height restriction.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But a lot of people ask me about that, and I'm okay with it because I have tried on the other side of the fence of that, and it didn't work for me. So you have to do what works.
Yeah.
So, and if it doesn't work, then you got to stick with, we're in it to enjoy it. So if I'm not going to have fun, might as well find something that I do enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. So what's the one thing that you find that out of everything that it gives you guys in your relationship, what's the one thing that you find that it fulfills the most, that you wouldn't be willing to go away from it or to leave it?
Good question. I would say for us, the number one thing that has brought us closer together is just communication. Right, communication is key.
But she's saying, what would keep us here?
Oh, keep us here. Oh, walk away. Oh, true. For me, it's the thrill, the excitement. Okay. The hunt. Yep. Can I call it that?
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Cool. I'm like, am I overlying on that?
No.
It's the thrill seeking of finding that one jackpot couple. And then when you find them, it just it blossoms into a relationship, and meeting people that are from different aspects of life, and they bring something to our table that we didn't have before, and it enriches our lives. Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's mind-blowing, actually.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. So the Hive itself is different than most, I guess, sex clubs, if that's what you want to call them, right?
Yes.
It is unique. It's the only one that is in the States that is like this as a social club. So how do you find the community? Do you find that you can get everything you need out of the one place here, or do you guys kind of, venture outside of it?
We definitely venture outside it, but it's actually fun to come to the Hive because it's exactly what it is, a social club. We can sit down, there's no pressure, we can socialize, talk, and that's pretty much why we enjoy it.
All right, welcome to my next couple, Enedina and Denny. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this interview with me today.
Having other people in the lifestyle just makes that more exciting.
Yes, for sure.
So it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Could you ever see yourselves going away from the lifestyle, or is it kind of now that you guys are in it, it's one of those things where you couldn't see?
Actually, we have gone away from the lifestyle because of family issues at one point, and we were gone for quite a while.
Yeah, we had some other family health issues that we
Yeah.
needed to take care of.
Okay.
And then we came back to it.
And then we
Yeah.
came back, and so now we do our events under Dive Bar Divas.
Yes. Do you want to share with me a little bit about that? What it is you guys do?
We
and what
wanted
that is?
we wanted to do mixer events to start with and just gather, because we were at mixers, but there wasn't enough mixers really in this valley that we thought there should be. So we like dive bars. We like dumpy little locally owned dive bars, and whether they can hold 20 people or 1,000, we don't care. But as long as they're locally owned, dumpy little places, we enjoy those the most. They usually have the best food and the most friendly staff. So we started doing that, and we decided to have a mixer at one of our favorite bars, and we announced it, and we created this name called Dive Bar Divas, and we invited everybody we could manage to find online. We thought we'd get 70, 80 people, and we ended up with 250 people showed up.
All in the lifestyle?
All in this one, in the lifestyle, all in this one little 2,800 square foot bar that couldn't hold that many people, and it was a wild, crazy evening, and so we just had a great time doing it, and we decided we would do that every month.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing it every month around the valley here, finding little dive bars that we've been to twice or 3 times, but finding
do
little
strip
places.
clubs as well.
And we do strip clubs where
Yeah.
we invite
They're fun.
swingers out to strip clubs, and we pack the strip club with nothing but couples,
Okay.
and they have a great time. And so that's the Dive Bar Divas has become quite a group with a big following. And
It's nice. It's nice to have that community. That's the one thing I do find that I notice with the Hive itself as well. I mean, it is a social club. It's different than a lot of the different clubs that you'll find, across the U.S. What is the one thing about the community here at the Hive that you guys find that, you couldn't get somewhere else?
Well, I find it relaxing, and you meet different people every time you come in here. It's not always the same people. I just find it fun and relaxing, and you can socialize or you can play or whatever.
One last question for you guys. Who wants to share their most memorable moment, good or bad, the experience that you guys have had?
I think I already did.
memorable.
Yours? Yeah. Your first time?
Yeah, that was pretty memorable.
It's pretty shocking.
I think one of the memorables, we were just talking about it a few minutes ago, and but we have 2 of them. But one of them was meeting one of my sons in a swingers club. And we ran into one of my sons, and that's a story. But we also were down in Cancun at Desire, and we met. She got out of the pool, and somebody had called her name, and nobody knows her nickname except for the people around us closely. And she heard her name, and she went over there.
And I paused, and I turned around, and it was our neighbor.
Yeah, she started talking, and she calls me out of the pool and says, "This is Ruth." And I said, "Ruth who?" And she said, "Our neighbor, 2 doors down." Yeah. And that was a surprise.
Yeah.
And we had no idea that they were in the lifestyle, but the fact of meeting my son and his girlfriend in the swingers club, that was quite a shock.
Oh, yeah, that would be for sure.
Yeah, for her birthday.
Yeah.
And there was lots of things going on the floor with her for her birthday that they should have never seen.
Oh, okay.
So
that would catch you for sure.
That was quite a shock, but it didn't turn out to be the shock we thought it would, because as I explained earlier when we were talking about it, I told him, I said, when we leave here, we're never going to talk about this again. He says, no, we're not, and we never have.
Nice. So everybody's kept each other's little secrets, and there's nothing about it. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for sharing, and for sharing with everybody listening and watching your guys' experience and some of your stories. I really appreciate that, and it was really nice.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's
kind
of
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Something different, right? And it's a nice way to be able to share with people who aren't in the lifestyle or a part of a community, just how regular it kind of is, the normalcy behind the couples that are there, and what it is that it's brought for them for their marriages, because I think so many people struggle in their marriages and relationships, but they don't have that communication, and they're scared to talk about it, and seeing and hearing other people who have done it and successfully, and with long marriages, I mean, do you know what I mean? So it's nice for people to be able to hear that and see that, so I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, guys, stay tuned for our next couple. Thank you. All right, welcome back, guys, to our next couple. Joining me right now is Michael and Diane. Thank you guys for being here, for having a conversation with us, and for everybody that's watching and listening. So how did it come up in your guys' relationship that you guys wanted to explore, or who wanted to explore first?
We're the anomaly because she wanted to start.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the one that started talking about it
we started
first.
talking about websites and looking at things and
And I think for me, like, this was never anything that I ever explored any other time previously in any other relationship. And I think I just felt safe enough to share fantasies. And then we just kind of were very honest. And then I had a friend that was in the lifestyle, so I knew a little bit.
Okay.
I couldn't ask her because we didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't want to let anybody know. And so we just kind of fumbled around trying to find our way. But that's kind of how it went, I think.
Yeah.
No.
So was that hard for you to hear that she was looking for?
It wasn't. I think as we kind of got into it, I felt like she became an expert at it, and I was just coming along as her date.
Okay.
So.
That sounds awful.
No, it's just not an expert, but
yeah. She kind of was the driving force, I guess, into learning more about it and exploring.
Yeah, because I was hardly on any of the websites. She would be the one that would go online and occasionally say, "Look at this profile." Even the Cassidy one. She's the one who keeps prodding me every time he comes. We got to fill out the profile. And it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Copy and paste, and then I'll proof it. But,
So was it tricky to figure out each other's boundaries, the rules of what it is that you guys had, or was it very just kind of go with the flow, see how it makes me feel, and then go from there?
No, I think that part of, I guess, researching this, I'd come across things where, different blogs or articles or whatever where couples would set up boundaries, and they gave examples, and I felt like by reading those and saying, oh, that would be healthier for us.
Yeah. So it really is about a healthy balance of understanding what each other, is okay with, what isn't, having the respect in the relationship to still make sure you guys are honoring each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it helps that we do explore fantasies together, so you never feel like, I guess I can look back someday when I'm a very old woman and go, I never felt like I missed out on something.
Yeah.
Or I never got to try something, and now, well, whatever. But, and this is what my favorite thing to say about what we do is, it's like when you're a kid. You do everything with your best friend. Any mischief, any fun, you do it with your best friend. And my husband is my best friend, so why wouldn't I want to do all of the mischief, all of the fun, all of the love with my best friend?
Yeah.
And so that's the way I see it. It's like I'm playing with my best friend.
Yeah. Today I have the lovely David and Nancy with me, and they are here to discuss their experience in the lifestyle. For people who maybe are at a point in their relationship or their marriage where they're wanting to look, they're wanting to, search it or experience, and, what would be the one thing that you would say to them, I guess, as a helpful tip and just kind of, to getting over that?
I would say do everything for the two of you and don't stop communicating.
Okay.
Because one person might be thinking something the other one's not.
Right.
And that's where I think I have talked to a lot of people who've gotten in trouble on that level, because it has to be about you as a couple and what you are looking to get out of it. And if you stick to that and you tell each other when you're uncomfortable with something or when you want more of something, I think that's the key. People stop talking, they get greedy, they want what they want. And, we've met a lot of people where
we had a couple married 38 years.
They ended up getting divorced.
Get a divorce.
Because he was just such a maniac, and she was more wanting to take it a little slower. And it's a recipe for disaster if you don't talk about it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, if you want, I think it's a great thing to do as a couple. I just think you have to really communicate a lot.
Yeah. And I would
Seems to be
say,
the answer.
don't go into this thing trying to fix something that's broken.
No.
Right.
Do not.
Yeah.
No, that's not
Go into this
either.
thing and know that you trust 100%, not 99%, 100% your spouse. Because if you're trying to fix something, it's going to get worse. Because
That's
then you
not a
don't have
good
a
thing.
trust issue
Yeah.
and jealousy issue and all those fun things. It's not a good recipe.
No.
And especially when you're with another couple, that becomes drama.
Right. Yeah.
So you've got to be strong and you've got to be on the same page 100%.
Our drama meter goes pretty quick, and as soon as we detect it, we
Yeah.
get out.
Yeah,
You
we
get
could
out.
spot
If
it.
we're with
We
somebody-
see it.
Yeah.
I'm like, we really got to go.
Yeah.
You know, and even if he doesn't see it, then, you know, we get where we're in private,
We're
and I
guys.
say, did you
We don't see
hear?
it. We're
That's fair.
guys.
Yeah.
Nancy sees it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because you feel things on a different level,
Yeah.
energetically, even when you're having a conversation with people and
Yeah.
picking up on, you know,
Yeah.
vibes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
the other thing that's really important, the women drive the ship.
Yes.
The guys don't drive the ship.
Mhm.
The guys think they drive the ship. They don't drive the ship. Nancy can pull the parachute anytime. Emergency stop.
And I have.
Anytime.
Yep. Okay.
I'll
Sometimes
say,
I'm bummed out about it.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, I respect her and her decision because I don't want her in that sort of position.
Mhm.
As fun as it might be for me, and we've had this many times,
Yeah.
not many times, but the women drive the ship.
Yeah.
And
So
that is a
happy
fact.
wife, happy life. Right?
Absolutely.
Even
Strictly
in this
dickly.
lifestyle,
No,
right?
it's true.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're doing it for us. I'm not doing it for me,
Mm-hmm.
and Nancy's not doing it for her. We're doing it for us. Right? So I have to respect her decisions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. All right. Welcome my next couple, John and Jane. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for your willingness to share with everybody. So would you consider yourselves swingers, polyamorous? Do you guys have separate relationships outside of your
We're both.
relationship?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Because I mean, I heard you make the comment once or twice. So that's about your sir. Is that kind
Yes.
of? So then I thought that I was like, okay, there seems to be more to.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have 3 or 4 different lifestyles. I have our vanilla lifestyle. I have BDSM, and then we swing and are polyamorous.
Okay.
So
Okay, interesting. So a lot of moving parts to your guys'
A lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
relationship. Do you find it hard to navigate all of those different moving parts together as a couple, or was it kind of it just flowed really easily?
We had 3 kids, so this is easy.
yes.
Okay. Fair.
Now they're
Yeah.
teenagers, so this is a lot easier than 3 kids.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the main thing that you guys were looking for as to why you decided to explore this together?
You know, we've been in the lifestyle since we first got together.
Okay.
That's, you know, we discussed it openly when our relationship first started, which, you know, I met her and I proposed 10 days later, and that was 17 years ago.
Okay.
So, you know, it worked for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's always been a part of us. You know, we put it on a shelf for a while where our kids were little, and now we're back in the lifestyle, and we love the Hive here. It's fantastic.
It is a very unique place and a very unique community, and it's a very safe place. So, I mean, compared to other places, obviously, that you guys have probably, you know, been to, what is the one thing that you find here that is so much different than every other place that,
Well, number one, the rules.
okay?
The rules are a big part of that. You know, no single guys coming in. That's the big thing, and it's classy. It's not slummy. It's not low down. It's not seedy. It's very, very classy. It's upscale, and the pricing reflects that.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself kind of puts this club up head and shoulders above other places.
Welcome, Sean and Priscilla. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being willing to share and have an open conversation for everybody listening. So was it uncomfortable for you when she brought that up to you? You weren't sure? Because I mean,
No.
there's got to be a lot of fear around having that conversation, and then the fear of insecurities, the fear of jealousy, and
I was more excited just with her actually finally sharing fantasies.
Yeah.
She, like she said, she was closed off. So when she finally came up with one, I wasn't going to just shoot it down.
right.
Because I'd been asking for so long. So like that was her first one. So I was like, okay, I'll think about this. And yeah, I was cool with it. And even the first time we had a threesome, it was another guy was also, involved. And yeah, I was like, everything in my past, like all the males in my past, like I should be punching this guy in the face, but I'm totally cool with this for some reason. This is a very unique experience, like dealing with that.
It's actually like hot. I have vanilla friends, and it's really hard not to talk about it.
Yeah, because do you feel like it's just there's a part of you that you're not able to express and that you're not really...
Yeah. Because, like, coming here and experiencing all this, and meeting everybody, everybody's been so friendly and so great. And you could just be open. You don't have to hide anything. Like, you could take your clothes off and nobody cares.
Yeah.
So there's no judgment or anything. So it's just very freeing.
Yeah.
And then when you go out into the real world, can't really do that. So,
no, it's true.
It's kind of hard. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I really want to, like, bring it up, but I don't want to set any tensions or anything.
Yeah. Because there is a lot of power in freedom in being able to just say, fuck you, essentially.
Right.
To everything to do with the judgment and the, society in itself of what they expect out of us, and just to be able to live your truth. But on the flip side of it, I mean, there's a lot of pressure. And when you're trying to balance two different, lives, and you have to still function in a way with family and raising kids, it gets really hard, which it's really shitty.
Yeah. It is. It's that fear of disrupting your normal life.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to alienate people in your life and just your work. Like, I that's what I fear, is alienating people and, like, people judging me and stuff for this stupid stigma on sex.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah. I've had conversations with people and they've said that it's funny how you can talk about sex as long as you're talking about trying to make a baby, the struggle to make a baby, and the things that you go through, as long as it's talking about,
creating. Yeah.
But as soon as it comes to pleasure, it's like, whoa, you didn't just say that. You can't talk about that. You're not allowed to actually enjoy sex. So you're not allowed to have desires. You're not allowed to have fantasies. And you're not allowed to explore those things. And yet you guys are exploring them together as a couple. And I find that all of these relationships seem to be very long-lasting relationships that are healthy, that have more of a connection than the vanilla aspect of a relationship where people struggle because there's a lack of communication and honesty.
That's what I experience when I'm out with, like, my girlfriends and stuff, because they're always, like, bitching about, like, their husbands or something, like, just, like, this miscommunication, or, like, oh, he doesn't get me, or blah, blah, blah. So, and I'm like, you should try it. I wanted to say you should try this, but I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are. But yeah, I'm like, it's helpful.
Yeah.
Because you're just more open, you're more honest with yourself, because you're just a human. Humans have desires, they have sexual needs, they have pleasure. Like, if we weren't supposed to have fun, like, we wouldn't have pleasure doing it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad.
It is. All right, guys, welcome. I have now with me the lovely Andrea and Jeremie, and we are going to hear a little bit about their story with the lifestyle. So, if you don't mind me asking, are you bisexual, or is it more just
he's
strictly...
bisexual. I am more bisensual, so we're comfortable with people.
Okay.
Just kind of depends on the energy.
I like that.
Yeah, it really just, it's always different. You never know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been interesting because even in, it's new and I don't have any necessarily like a judgment or a definitive statement on it, but what I'm discovering so far is a lot of men that might be bisexual, even in this community, keep it to the down low because it still seems like, from what I keep hearing from other men that have said openly in like a swingers or a polyamory group that they're bisexual, that everyone's like, and they don't quite know what to do with it.
It's not quite as embraced as bisexual women.
Okay.
No. So every time we hear about somebody looking for a unicorn, it's never another man looking for another man to join a man and a woman. It's always a woman to be with some dominant guy with two women or something.
So do you find that challenging?
Yeah.
Like, are your needs being met just as much as, say, your partner's? Because it's easier, like you said, to find that aspect of it.
Yeah, nothing's missing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the part that's really important is, like, this kind of a conversation would not happen in my old vanilla life.
No, not at all. People struggle to talk about everything and anything that has to do with sex. It's so taboo to have desires and to have fantasies and to want to explore them that people can't even really wrap their head around the idea of it. So to have these conversations, it's funny because once you have these conversations with people, it just seems like there's no walls, and it almost feels like you've known these people for years and years compared to minutes. Whereas you meet people in different, aspects of your life, and it just seems like there's so many walls up that it's just fake conversation. I'm telling you what I think you want to hear, and I'm telling you what I think you think is like cool, compared to this where it's like, I've just met you guys, but I feel because we've had such an open conversation, I mean, I could sit down and talk to you guys about anything. I could go bowling with you guys. I could go for dinner with you guys. And everything just feels like
next week's open.
There,
so.
right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Just schedule it in, right?
It is.
But it's different, and people are so they're not comfortable with being comfortable in those settings, and it's unfamiliar, right? It's new territory to have freedom in that.
It's terrifying for a lot of people that were brought up with a lot of fear and suppression, and we don't live in a culture that sex is normalized and cherished as like the powerful thing that it is. And we don't teach our kids that, and we don't communicate with them past a certain age.
Tonight I have with me the lovely Deb. Deb is referred to in the industry or in the lifestyle as a unicorn, correct?
Yes.
Okay, amazing. Can you explain really what that is for everybody listening? Because even I wasn't familiar with that term.
Of course.
Yeah.
A unicorn is a single woman in the lifestyle.
Okay. So how do you navigate that, being a single woman, when a lot of couples like to play together, or there's different rules and stuff? Like, what are the challenges you find you face being a single woman in the lifestyle?
You have to be careful of jealousy. I always make it a practice, if a woman comes up to me and wants me to interact with her, I ask her, is it okay with your husband? And of course she's going to say yes, otherwise she wouldn't be asking me.
Right.
And I say, well, would you mind if I just confirmed it with him?
Okay.
And the same thing, if a man comes up to me and says, I would like to have a play date with you, and I know he's with a female, whether they're married or just partners or whatever, I say, does your, let's say, wife know? And he goes, oh yeah, don't worry about it. And I'm going, if it's okay, I'd just like to confirm with her.
Yeah.
Because I never want to be the other woman.
Right.
Because I've been the other woman in relationships, and it sucks big time.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I always make sure with the other person that I have their permission.
You're looking for clear consent from both parties before agreeing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
definitely.
Would you consider yourself bisexual then?
It depends.
Okay.
Most women I've been with, they're called pillow princesses.
Okay.
They just lay back and enjoy.
Okay.
And then they have great orgasms. It's, oh, thanks a lot. See you later.
Right. What about for yourself, though, for receiving it?
What they don't give.
Okay. Yeah.
They don't give. They just take.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Oh, you're so good. Oh, gotta go.
Okay.
So
That's
then,
gonna be frustrating.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of people ask me if I'm bisexual, and I find it easier to say no.
Okay. All right. Welcome, Russell and Tristan. Thank you guys for being here tonight and your willingness to share and have an open conversation. What brought you guys to the lifestyle?
Well,
so
I would send him all kinds of dirty videos and pictures, and he's like, I'm going to make you an OnlyFans.
Okay.
So then he did, and I was like, okay, fuck it. Oh, sorry.
So you guys, we say pussy, vag, everything.
Okay, so I
you
just
can
didn't
say
know
fuck,
what
you're all
like
good, you're all good. Yeah, so you started with an OnlyFans before getting into the lifestyle.
And then it opened up us to realizing that we wanted more.
Okay.
So, but let's stop real quick and talk about this. So super vanilla when we first started.
Yeah.
She wouldn't even take like naked pictures at all.
Yeah, I was very prude.
Right.
We had kids,
So,
and I turned into like
yeah,
a
and
nun
then
for real. I was like,
wouldn't like
asshole.
we partied hard when we first got together.
Yeah.
Had kids, went straight nun on me. Wouldn't no fun at all.
I did.
Okay.
I was so
And
terrible.
then we started doing the OnlyFans, and I would say that it relit a adventure side in our life.
Yep.
And like kind of rekindled. I'm not saying that the fire was out before, but it got us on a leveler playing field. With,
Yeah. So and it's
Nice.
obviously strengthened your guys'
Yes,
relationship.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you bisexual?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you guys play, you're looking specifically to bring in another woman, or you guys more like to bring in a couple and
We're looking more for women, but we are actually
we're
going into the whole actual swinging of both.
Okay.
So
it's been a journey.
I feel like any of the groups that we've met, they'll have their own little cliques.
Yeah.
But when you hang out with them, you can realize like they've all been a clique for so long that it's just, it doesn't matter who you are or who you're with. Like it's just everybody's together. It's like a big group of just love.
Right.
So, and it's non-judgmental. It's super nice and just fun and relaxing. Like we went to a party, a house party, and we were all just walking around butt naked. Like,
just
And
free.
yeah,
And
just
it was
comfortable.
fun. There was no judgment there. There was no animosity. There was none of that, what everybody fears in their life.
Yeah.
And there was no anxiety there. It was just fun people having fun in their natural habitat. If you really want to be specific on what, nobody cared what you were wearing. Nobody cared anything about you other than you being there and being a part of the action that's taking place.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
All right. Well, welcome, Christine. Thank you for joining me. So
I have two collars I wear. I have a hot wife and a slave collar. When I wear a hot wife, I'm in charge of the evening, and I'll let my husband know, okay, I'm gonna be with this man. You can watch, you can participate, or you can stay out here and wait for my details later.
Okay.
So that's one of them. But with that, I always wonder and worry, is he judging me for the person I chose? Does he compare that person, that man I chose, to what he looks like? So in my mind, I always worry about, well, what if I choose that man over there? And John's not happy with that.
Okay. So you don't necessarily have to get his approval.
Right.
Beforehand. You can decide who you want to be with. You can have your evening, and then you just communicate about it afterwards.
I always tell him ahead of time what I'm going to do.
Yes.
I see that man over there. I'm going to see if he's interested. We're going to go into this room.
Okay.
So I let him know ahead of time.
Okay.
That way he knows where I am at all times.
Right.
But yeah, I always wonder if he judges who I chose.
And have you asked him?
A couple of times.
And does he?
No.
Okay.
But it's just one of those things I always do.
I could see that. And so have you ever judged him for the women he's chose?
Unfortunately, it doesn't work the same. He has very few opportunities. Women never approach him.
Really?
Yeah, it's always the men that approach me.
Okay, so is there a reason behind that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've noticed that a lot of times, even at some of the house parties.
Yeah.
There were a couple other clubs we would check out here.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. They would flock to me, but the women would not flock to him.
So you play more evenings than he gets to.
Yes.
So it's not one of those things where if you don't play together, you don't get to play at all.
Right.
Okay. So what does the slave one mean then?
That means that he's in charge of my evening. So if he sees a couple that I would need to, he's like, see that new couple over there? I want you to talk to them. See that couple over there? I want you to offer your services to them. He will loan me out if they're interested.
So it's like a sub kind of.
Yeah.
I like that. And I like that you guys have signals and that you guys have those things in place going into an evening so you know what you guys are expecting.
Exactly.
It's the communication.
Yes.
Right? So I have another question, and maybe if personal, if you don't want to answer, you don't have to.
Okay.
So I've often wondered, and again, this is something that came up in conversation. So you and your partner obviously will switch and you'll explore other men and women together in an evening. Have you guys ever attended, I guess, the house parties in a sense, or orgies in a sense, where it is multiple people kind of partaking and switching and sharing throughout the night?
This past April, we had gone to a Hot Wives of Phoenix house party. So, yeah, there were a lot of guys there for the women. And, there were a lot of things going on in various rooms. I was with 2 men that night. My husband was present in the room for the first one, and then I did my own thing separately for the second one.
Yeah. And is that something that, so me and my girlfriend had this conversation, I made a comment about the fact that guys double dip. And she's like, well, what does that mean? And I was like, well, guys had sex with more than one woman in an evening. And I was like, and she's like, okay, well, I've never done that. I was like, well, okay, I have. And we talked about that.
Yeah.
And then it was weird because like the conversation kind of was just like, it felt almost kind of like judgy, where I was like, she was almost judging. She's like, I would never in a million years. And then afterwards I was like, hold on a minute. People in the lifestyle, that's a very normal thing for them. In an evening, if they are playing with other couples or partaking in these things, you will be with more than sometimes 1, 2, or 3 men in an evening. And I was like, I guarantee that's not even something that crosses your guys' minds of like, oh my God, I've been with more than one person tonight. I can't even like accept that. And oh my God, how shameful. So obviously that's not something that's of consideration. It's just kind of the norm. All right. Okay. So right now I have with me the 2 mics. We have mic 1 and mic 2. So just to clear it up, they are not a couple, but their wives have sent them in here and they are able to have an open conversation about the lifestyle. So do you guys kind of live by the motto as well as happy wife, happy life? That seems to be...
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's the rule. Yeah, if she says no, it's no.
Exactly.
I like that. I feel like this is like a lifestyle I could totally get behind. It's like all about me, what I say, no questions, right?
And the thing is, like, it's like, if she likes, I'm always like, oh, that girl's really hot. And I'm like, but that guy's not going to work for her. So I got to like step back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so, and I know, and there was like a guy we were talking about, we were texting each other, I'm like, I cannot talk to that girl because that guy is not going to be within 10 feet of her because she will kick my ass.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's got to be one of the hardest things about
Well, we laugh about it.
navigating this, though, is you really do have to find a mutual attraction for both parties, especially if you guys have a rule of we only play together. A lot of couples will have, like, it seems like more of like a polyamorous kind of style or open relationship style where it's, you can kind of do your own thing. But if you have that boundary of we only play together, you really do have to make sure both parties are happy with the switch that you guys are doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, even going off individually, which we've done before too, you still have to have the mutual attraction amongst everybody. Really.
Right.
So.
Okay. All right. So I have with me now Mike and Mike's other halves, the better other halves, Patricia and Heather. What was it that you thought was your driving force of what brought you to the lifestyle?
Mine was just sex. Like, I just the sex. I love the sex. Like, the more often, the better.
So fantasies and desires that you had that maybe weren't being fulfilled in your relationship that you wanted to explore?
Yes, just more often, different things that maybe we hadn't done before and maybe somebody else could provide.
Okay. Was that a tricky conversation for you to have?
For us, it wasn't too tricky. We just kind of looked at it and said, hey, this might be fun.
Yeah.
And I guess as it goes along, we have those conversations as it goes along. Like each time something different happens, we kind of have that conversation. Is it okay? Is it all right? And
definitely a learning experience.
Yes.
Yeah, because you guys are newer.
We are.
You are.
Yeah.
And so how are you finding it so far?
I'm enjoying it. Because my thing was Mike's birthday present. I was like, what do you want for your birthday? Whatever you want, let me know. Okay. So he was like, okay, let me think about it. And then he was like, look at this. So it was Whisper in Vegas. So I looked it up and I was like, okay, I'm in. Let's do it.
Did that create any immediate feelings, though, of insecurities or any fears of he was looking for something that you couldn't provide? Or was it just one of those things where you just, like, you guys have been together for so long that it was just like, let's explore?
Exactly. Because my thing, like, I love to have sex. I love to have sex all the time. So I was like, okay, let's try it. And we did it. And I feel like ever since we did that, it just brought us, like, closer and closer together.
Well, thank you, Mark, for being here. I'm excited to have a conversation with you. So happy wife, happy life. I've heard it from a few of the guys tonight, and that really seems to be the boundaries of trying to make this work, and you have to have that respect, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that my wife is
is happy whether we're in the lifestyle or not.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
But the lifestyle has changed for me now. My wife, before she got married, and even before she was in high school, my wife, through various stages of her young adult life, has suffered various levels of sexual trauma from men, and she had very deep trust issues.
For sure, absolutely.
With men. And so what I want now, more than anything, and she's come a long way, I want my wife to be able to experience sex as a joyful thing. Not just with me, to experience sex as a joyful thing. Because women, in general, don't believe that they are deserving of pleasure. Guys take their pleasure for granted. We do. We don't think about it.
Right.
Women, the stars have to align, and the gods have to bless in order for that to take place. Everything has, the spiritual, the mental, the physical aspect of all of it has to line up.
Oh, we got a lot of moving parts going on
For-
up here
for that-
for this orgasm
for that
to
to
happen.
happen.
Yeah.
For that to happen.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
And the thing is that I want her to be able to feel comfortable in exploring, and to be able to not feel guilty about taking possession of her pleasure, to be able to do that, because I'm quite a bit older than my wife, and I am going to die, and she is going to be having to navigate this part of her life without me, and I want her in a place where she can still have a joyful life, a joyful sexual life, and be able to take possession of that pleasure in whatever form that is.
That is probably one of the sweetest things I have ever heard, that you actually think about that outside of, your immediate relationship, and you think about that long-term aspect for her to be able to enjoy sex, and for her to be able to have, pleasure orgasms on all of those things. So, I do think that is actually very, very beautiful that you think of those things, because I don't think a lot of men do, to be honest.
Well, I would
She's
like
a
to
lucky
think
woman.
I would like to think I'm maybe more enlightened than some of my younger counterparts.
You'll just have to teach them a few things then.
Well, there's an old saying that I just happen to like and agree with. Older men deliver what younger men promise.
I like that. All right, I'm with Sam and Sam. Yes, thank you guys for being here. So how long have you guys been together?
Good question.
June?
I'd say about June, July,
May.
August, since June. So how many months is that?
Oh, this is a very new relationship.
Yes.
Okay, so how long have you guys been in the lifestyle?
We've both been in it very short time, maybe
Under a year.
Yeah, under a year.
Under a year.
Okay, so you guys were in it prior to meeting.
Yep.
We're both married, not to each other.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of polyamorous it became.
Yeah.
Okay, so your significant others are aware of your relationship.
They're also together.
Yes.
Oh.
And they're actually together
Right
as
now.
we speak.
But not here.
No.
Not here.
But we all four came here together.
Yes.
Okay. So would you guys consider yourselves to be in a relationship?
Yes.
And they're in a relationship?
That's correct.
But you guys are still in a marriage with each other?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to ask this question, and you can answer it or not. It's up to you. Do you guys have a better relationship, the two of you? Is this why this became
I can already tell you yes, I know where you're going.
Yes.
Okay, so is that
Better
what-
relationship with him than my spouse.
That's what it became?
Yep. Same with me.
Okay. And everybody's on board with that. That's what everybody seems to be.
Everybody makes each other
And
happy.
even the most interesting thing is she stays over with me and my wife 4 or 5 times a week.
And his wife, and myself are really good friends.
Are you guys bisexual?
Yes.
Okay, so
well, we tried one thing one time, not with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of awkward.
How are you guys finding this to navigate? Was it complicated? Do you find like communication has been tricky to have?
Communication between us is very good and open. With our spouses, I would say mine's not so great. Never has been.
Okay.
It has its ups and downs. It can be hard. It's new for everybody.
Yep.
And that's the biggest thing we always come back to is it's new for everybody, and everybody reacts to it differently, seeing their spouse being with somebody else.
So
I think that's the biggest
how long
thing.
have you actually been married then?
Going on 7 years.
And you?
I think 11 years.
So were you guys looking for just to bring in some sort of sexual excitement into your marriages?
Exactly.
And then you met through this community?
Yep.
So did you guys actually meet through the community here at the Hive?
Yep. She was the bartender, and I would eyeball her, and one thing led to another.
And okay, so you guys were obviously already kind of technically in the lifestyle. So meeting each other and forming that bond was something that was acceptable in your relationships anyways.
I wouldn't say that it was something that that was acceptable at the time. Didn't know it was going to happen, because when my husband and I first joined the lifestyle, we had the rules like just soft swapping at first, or just no kissing on the mouth. I mean, everybody I think makes rules at first and then they go out the window. So
because they're unsure of what they're going to be comfortable with.
You don't know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
so.
same thing with us. We had rules, and then for some, like, forget the rules. We'll talk about it after the fact.
Okay.
And rules always made it a little bit more difficult.
All right, so now I have with me the lovely Richard and Brittany. Is this something that you see you're doing long term, or is this something where have you guys talked about like, hey, is this where we're going to do this forever, or is there like a stopping point?
She says when we turn 60 that hey, we need to stop.
Okay.
Something around that.
I don't know. We have had conversations, and I have brought up that, at some point, do you think we may stop and then just be with just us?
Just each other.
But I don't know that we're at that point yet.
Yeah. I haven't asked anybody else this, but it kind of just came to mind. Do you think it becomes an addiction almost? Like the filling desires and fantasies through having sex with other people?
I would say yes.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does
It
become
does.
an addiction. I mean,
It's the excitement of being with somebody new.
Okay.
Not your typical partner that you are with every day. So something new is always exciting, obviously. Wanting to try something. And it's, I don't know, that thing about having something that doesn't belong to you.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
So, but there's always that one person you always come back to, and that's the
Which
person,
is your wife, your
course,
partner.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's obviously brought you guys closer together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Has it strengthened your guys' sex life as well?
It definitely is a turn on.
Yes.
Okay.
It makes our sex life even better because we have conversations about it in the bedroom by ourselves, and we just talk about certain situations, about what we liked about, and if we're willing to do it again with that same couple.
Oh, okay.
And then sometimes, even when we're in the moment, we'll bring up like a different experience and like talk about that while we're having sex, which then gets us both a little more excited. And
it's like foreplay conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess this is how it starts with most people. They talk about it, and then that's how they end up in the lifestyle.
So what would you guys say is your favorite thing about the community here at the Hive?
I would say we've made a lot more friends.
Yeah.
Because at our age, it's harder to make friends, even though we have children, because we both didn't grow up here. So it's harder to make friends as you get older and you move to a different state and you don't have like the same people you grew up with. And so I think we've made a lot more friends. And so it's kind of great because we can go and do stuff here,
Mm-hmm.
or just do vanilla stuff outside in the community and just hang out and be just comfortable with each other. So,
which we have multiple times. Some couples we meet, we actually never play with.